This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hey, lovely, lovely.
Tell you what, though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
Lovely Holland. Lovely toys. Lovely Holland.
Oh, hey there, guys.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of
The
Lovely Show with
First
Kevin
take.
and Justine.
We didn't rehearse that at all.
No, and it was smooth as butter.
It was. Like silk.
Full disclosure, I am quite sick.
I am not well either.
Why?
Well, I suppose I was at a wedding on Friday and it's kind of rolled over and I was out Saturday night and I'm not well. Now, I've heard also the COVID is back. He's back in town.
It's back, baby.
He's like canvassing house to house.
Luke O'Neill is salivating at the thought of it coming back.
Don't open your doors.
I've been relevant again.
This is it.
It's like waiting on the phone. It's like, who's going to call me, ask me what's going on with COVID? What's the latest with
Yeah.
COVID? He knows all about COVID. He knows too much about COVID that I'd be a little bit suspicious of.
Yeah. Man-made.
Does he have any bats? Has
Was
he
it
got any
man-made?
pigs?
Yeah. What's going on?
Made any weird trips to, where is it? Wigwam. Where was it in China that started?
The nightclub. Wigwam.
It's COVID started
Academy.
COVID started in the nightclub Wigwam.
Do you know what? That's believable.
Now, where did it start in China again?
God, I couldn't tell you. I wasn't
Wasn't
there.
Shenzhen. Anyway,
Yeah. You know, it's funny how much I blocked out that we had to go through in COVID. Sometimes I think, would I like another little COVID? Another little breakaway?
I loved just that the government said everyone has to stay home. Yeah. Because I'm mostly motivated by spite and jealousy.
Entirely the same. And when I knew I had nothing else to be doing that no one else could do.
Yeah, when I knew other
No,
people
yeah.
weren't able to do stuff.
God, it was beautiful.
But then I found out everyone was doing podcasts and writing books and then came out of COVID hugely successful.
I suppose I was always doing the videos in the background anyway, so I just kept chipping away at that. But actually, the thing for me was stand-up, because I've never enjoyed it. That I was like, when no one was doing it, I was like, God, I don't feel
This feels great.
this feels class.
Yeah, no pressure to
Just
do anything.
probably a sign as to maybe you shouldn't be doing stand-up.
I think COVID should be like a bank holiday where like every 10 years you take off 2 months.
It's like the World Cup.
Yeah.
Every 4 years,
You do nothing.
you do nothing for a summer.
You have to stay indoors, apart from Deliveroo drivers who have to bring you
Yeah.
food.
The real heroes.
The real heroes.
Yeah.
I was clapping for them. I wasn't clapping for the nurses.
Oh, completely,
I
yeah.
was clapping for those lads on their lovely little bikes.
I remember seeing a tweet before about someone, she was like, you know, because a lot of people had, and rightly so, a lot of respect for nurses and hospital staff, but there was a woman, she was a beautician, and their outfits are kind of similar. And she literally went into a restaurant and the server was like, this meal and drink is on us.
Wow.
And she was like, I was just ripping hair off someone's arse. Like, but we're all doing our
You're
bit.
doing God's work. 1,000 hairless arseholes, thank you. That's the clapping. That's the clapping of arseholes.
With no hair, so it's a fresh sound. Smooth clap. Why are you
Do you know
sick?
the noise of a fart
Oh yeah.
is
The two-
air
yeah. Billy
making
Connolly taught me that.
what?
That. He
This
would-
fact.
Yeah.
It's air making your arse cheeks clap. Like almost like a hummingbird speed, and it creates a hilarious noise.
Yeah. I remember.
Fascinating.
That might have been like the first bit of stand-up I ever seen in my life, but it was like watching a special of his. I think it was at Christmas, and he demonstrated it whereby, you know, the cheeks and it's the air coming through it.
Yes.
I was like, wow, science.
And I think it's a universal language, the fart.
It is.
No matter where you are, what language you speak, if you do a fart, you could be in the deepest, darkest regions of China. Those Chinese lads are going to be rolling around the floor laughing.
I remember one Christmas, we'd always have to do a party piece. And
Oh God,
my
where's this going?
Yeah, my family were like, Justine, do your party piece. So I said I'd do a tumble. I thought that'd be a great little number. And I did a tumble, and literally finishing the tumble, let out the loudest fart, right? My family thought that was the party piece. And there was like, half of them were like, do we clap? Or was that? And I ran out the room, couldn't hack it. I was so embarrassed. And half an hour I came back in, and my granddad just goes to me, Justine, it could happen to the Pope. And I'm there thinking,
What scenario?
is the Pope?
How many goblets of altar wine has the Pope drank? Where he's like, all right, I'll do a tumble now. But to be honest, like the idea of, what age were you?
Oh, 10.
The idea of 10. So this was like chunky Justine.
Yeah.
The idea of little lovely chunky Justine doing a little tumble and then like her crescendo is a big. That makes me laugh so much. I love that image. I bet your mother was getting on to X Factor going like, I've got a hilarious tumbling farting child.
I love that you're saying X Factor, a singing contest. Yeah, look, we'll get our arse a microphone. That's really
Oh, what's the one? What's the talent one then?
Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent.
No, I think X Factor would be better crack.
I mean, you'd
sign me
need
up.
to get different tones out of the farts. You'd need to be able to play The Dawning of the Day with your arsehole.
Oh, God.
No, so I'm sick. That's why my voice sounds so low and sexy.
Yeah,
I think it sounds sexy.
everywhere, it's always that it's more raspy, kind of.
Raspy.
People always, I don't know. I'm not saying it for you personally. I don't know if that does it for me when people have that lower
tone.
The grisliness of it doesn't. I feel like someone, because my granddad used to be awful with phlegm, and you'd be like, Jesus, just cough it up though, will you? Because you'd like half the words would be missing because it'd be getting caught up.
Granddad's did a lot of spitting out the windows of cars, I remember. Loved a big gob out the window of a car.
Yeah. On an oncoming child walking.
I think there is. I remember my grandfather like getting loads of hair out of his ears. And I was like, why are you not cutting that back? He'd shave every day, his face. Big believer in shaving every day over the sink.
Yeah.
Just was like, I'm going to leave these massive tufts of ears. Like, why did we experience lots of sandstorms, early man, where you need to like fill your ears full of hair?
Why did the body decide to design that?
Let's move all the hair from the head. Let's push it straight out to where we need it, the holes.
Now, in fairness, I'll joke about that, but I ended up...
I'll joke about it.
I will. I ended up in A&E because I got the back of an earring stuck in my eardrum. And I went to the doctor and she tried to get it out and she actually pushed it directly into the eardrum. And she was like, you may go to A&E. I'm like, well, isn't that great? Isn't that great?
Thank you for your service.
And then I went to A&E. Oh my God. Like, they had this tool that tried to get it. I've never been in so much pain. And they can't give you anaesthetic for your ear. So they were giving me that gas thing that only lasts for like 10 seconds and does nothing. It does not. It just makes you go, ooh, but it doesn't actually numb any bit of pain. She tried the first time.
Just gets you high.
For like 10 seconds. It's pointless. It's
like
really
poppers.
It's kind of, but it's trying to just trying to distract you. I'm like, nothing's going to distract me from this pain because it's horrific. So she tried one time with these like clipper yokes to get it out. No. And then the second time, no. And I was like, please, one last time. This has to be the last time. And that time, she literally pushed it directly in. My whole ear started bleeding. I didn't know that was the thing that was possible.
Could you not use a big magnet or something?
It was one of the plastic ones.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
Could you not blow on the other side of the ear and sort of blow it through your head?
Some kind of cartoon, function. Yeah, totally. If it was Looney Tunes, I think that would have probably worked.
To be honest, it's probably the least embarrassing hole to have something stuck in. Going to an A&E.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I should have counted my blessings, but like blood was pouring out.
Actually, while you're at it, I have a ketchup bottle stuck in my arse.
This is a 2-for-1 job. Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone recently that I thought would be very... No, I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it would be funny. If you had... Basically, the conversation came up because his airbags broke or something in the car and he had to go get them replaced. And I was trying to think of what would the funniest item you could replace airbags with be?
Oh, yeah.
We were thinking whoopee cushion. That'd be great now.
Yeah, especially like just at the moment of impact where he's crashed into a tree, that split second where he's waiting to be saved and then a big old stupid whoopee cushion comes out. He laughs and then your friend is dead.
But your final moments
oh, fair play, Justine, that was good on.
Laughter. Now, I think if we're thinking of a clown car here, I think that's probably what a clown car is.
I'm pretty sure clown cars have whoopee cushions instead of airbags.
Yeah, or it's a squirt water gun thingy.
It would be a missed opportunity.
Truly, I think so.
Yeah, and like that'll pass the NCT.
Oh yeah.
If you're a clown with a clown car and you have a whoopee cushion airbag, it will still pass the NCT.
Lovely stuff.
You were at a wedding there recently?
I was, yeah.
Any crack?
No, there was a new thing at it that I haven't seen, but I haven't been to that many weddings. Like the last wedding I was at was 2 years ago, which was my cousin's. But the one thing they had there that I've never seen before at weddings is they had a post box for putting all the cards in.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It's the first time I'd seen
that. That's a new thing. Yeah,
That's
I've
cool.
seen that. Yeah.
Because again, I was like, I don't even know the best man because like I'm friends with.
Do you trust a best man?
Jesus, no.
Do you trust the best man with maybe with €1,500?
Especially when you think of like, again, you're being picked as the best man because you're probably a bit of a joker and you're
Yeah.
a bit of a messer.
You were there. You've hung around this man the longest.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a
Good thing. No. So I didn't know who that person even was. So actually, it was deadly that they had that.
Yeah, that's handy. You trust a big post box.
I would,
Nobody's
always.
breaking into that. Tell me this. How were the speeches?
Now, this was an interesting one because we were obviously at a table and we did the bets. Everyone put a tenner in. How long is the speeches going to be in total? This wedding in particular was quite a quick speeches. There was no
messing about.
No messing about. In and out job. Yeah. So in total, I think it came to just under 30 minutes in total.
Wow.
Yeah, because people were guessing like 48.
Yeah, I'd usually go for high 40s.
Yeah, no, it was wrapped by I think just under 30.
Damn.
Now, a weird thing that
A
happened.
lot of open micers on.
But I kind of liked. Well, I don't know. Depends on like you can have a best man that isn't just doesn't want to be. You know, you can have people that are like I wouldn't be a natural storyteller or I wouldn't be fond of public speaking. So I get it when you have people that are just like I want to get through it. I want to say my thanks. One I hadn't heard of before. We didn't do it now, but apparently you can do a bet instead of how many times the word thanks is said.
Oh yeah,
I think that's a great one.
I've done the thanks one.
I would prefer that one nearly.
Yeah.
But the weird thing that I thought was, I thought whoever wins the bet buys everyone around.
See, this is the problem. With the price of drink, it actually works against you to win because you will
You'll
not.
have to chip in.
You'll actually have to spend more.
That's very true. Well, this is country wedding.
If everyone chips in a fiver and then everyone buys a pint, or some people buying gin and tonics, you're like, no way, I'm down money.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to win this.
No, if I won, first off, we all put in a tenner, so you're covered there. And this was a country wedding, so we're not talking ridiculous money for pints.
Sure.
Great. But if I won, I'd be like, sure, like, buy everyone a shot of Baby Guinness or something.
Yeah, shot's always a good one.
Shot's a good one now.
And plus, if you say something like, we're doing tequila,
half them be like, no.
half of them's like, nah, you're grand. You're
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, but they didn't do that.
I did a bit of a nasty Nick Big Brother thing once where we're doing the thanks.
Okay.
The
Have you
betting
been
on
best man
thanks.
before, surely?
I don't think I've ever been a best man. I've been one of the best men.
Okay.
I've been a good boy.
Yeah.
I've never been a best man. But I was at our table, we were betting on thanks and I knew it was wrapping up. I knew I needed like 10 more thanks. And I just passed a little note to the best man.
Stop.
And I was like, say thanks 10 times. And he just went, thanks. And I was kicked out of Big Brother.
Lovely stuff.
This show is part of HeadStuff Podcasts. Here's another show you might like.
Hi, sorry. Oh God, I didn't mean to interrupt your podcast. Yes. Sorry, I'm young.
Yes, I'm hot and I'm gay and we're young hot guys.
Yes, yeah.
Really apologise for interrupting, but we have our own podcast.
Yes, it's also on the HeadStuff Podcast Network. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting, but it's really good. And
yeah, I didn't want to say this, but it's actually really, really, really good.
Really funny.
My mum says so. We are three guys, but we're not real blokey. Do you know what I mean? We're soft and friendly and nice.
Yeah. Exactly. Like this timid request to ask you to listen to our podcast. Exactly. Yeah. We're not going to bash you over the head. No. We're approachable men.
Yeah. So listen, when you're finished this one, don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a good part coming up.
But if you don't, we will bash you over the head. I know people. Anyway, enjoy the podcast.
No threat.
What about, would you have a priest or would you have a friend playing a priest?
Can I just say, the mass we went to, right, you know when you're not meant to laugh. It's obviously when everything's the funniest thing in the world. And from the get-go, we were ruined because it
obviously,
came out.
one person that couldn't be here is my dear auntie Nora. Just seems like...
Yeah. Not that, but it was that they came out and they said, the priest today, mass will be said by Father Michael Jordan and me and my friend Brian. Were like,
I had no idea he was a priest.
Well, he tried the baseball for a bit.
He went for baseball, and then I think he went back to basketball, didn't he? And then he played in that game against the cartoon characters.
That's it.
Yeah.
Space Jam.
That's
that
right.
one.
They made a film about it.
They did, a big film. So my friend Brian just looked at me. I was like, the second he looked at me, I was like, I'm gone now. I'm gone. And the shoulders were destroyed. But then I just leant into her and was like, what are you expecting to happen? Like, you may now slam dunk the bride or something insane at the end of it. That was like, that's just too much. But then also, my friend Brian had had a few pints the night before and they were doing the blessing of the ring ceremony.
Yes.
And Brian had into me and just goes, jeez, I wish you'd bless my ring because it's seen better days. And I'm like, Brian, for the love of God, let Michael Jordan do his thing.
It's a funny thing when you've the same name as somebody very famous because you've obviously made a conscious decision. You know that Michael Jordan exists.
Yeah.
You've made a conscious decision. I'm not going to change my name to Father Mick Jordan.
No.
Which would be preferable. Father Mickey Jordan.
Mickey Jordan.
Father Matty Jordan. What else can you say for Michael?
Mahon, you could even go to.
You could add a middle name, Michael P. Jordan. There's actually another actor called that. But
Jordan.
you're just like, no, I'm going to stick with this name. Do you know any other people who had famous names?
Well, I don't, like, I just know, I feel unfortunate for people that have names of people that are kind of cancelled now or different things.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
do you remember there was
Father Rolf Harris.
Father Larry Murphy? You know, there's
Oh,
people
yeah.
on Twitter, I remember someone like having to do a tweet after, I can't remember what the scandal or who it was about, but they were just like, they changed their Twitter name to not that.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
name. I'm
Very
like,
good.
Yeah.
I
must be
think I knew a
awful.
lad called Philip Eno,
Wow. That's,
which sounds like Filipino.
yeah.
But
But then you have some parents that you know blatantly well name their kid because the famous person already exists. And I'm like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're setting that child up for failure. Do you
Yeah.
really think they're going to be more successful and famous than that person? Like, what are you...
yeah,
What kind of a mind fuckery is that?
Marilyn Monroe
Yeah.
now playing under 14 girls in goals. Marilyn Monroe. I was like, holy shit, that she's dead.
Like, that's insanity.
Yeah,
And, you
that's
know,
a bit mad.
Or the parents that, like, say, your man, Gary Neville's brother, Neville. What kind of codology is that?
Yeah, that's a bit mental.
Why would you do that?
Gary Neville, is that Gary Neville's son? Or
brother, I think.
It's, I mean, have you just given up? Have you just given up coming
Can't
up with
think
a
of
name?
any new
I'm
word.
just going to call it the second name twice.
Like, it's very lazy behaviour now, I think.
Very, very lazy behaviour.
If I was having a kid, I think I'd name it Jude. I love the name Jude. It can be a boy or a girl.
Jude Stafford.
I just love the song as well. I love it.
Boy or girl, you call it Jude?
Jude, yeah.
Yeah, works
I think
both
both
ways.
of those are a cool
I think
kid.
it's cool on a boy as well.
Now, I did know a Jude, and slagging him, like people would always say, Judas. That's not ideal.
Wow.
That's not
what
ideal.
a fucking Catholic slag.
Yeah.
I don't think modern kids would
Would.
even fucking know who Judas is.
That's very true. Very true.
They'll
Okay.
probably call him Judge Judy. That'd be a modern slag.
I'm not against that. If he
Yeah.
wants to go into law, great.
There you go.
I just think it's a cool name. I just feel like that kid will grow up and he'll be arty or something.
Is there, you know the song The Boy Named Sue?
Yeah.
His dad left the family, grows up tough because he has to defend
Yeah.
having a girl's name. Dad meets him, fights the dad, which is great. Big owl row with the owl lad. And then he's like, why'd you call me Sue? And he's like, because I planned on pissing off, man. I planned on fucking off. So I gave you a little girl's name so you would have to fight to survive and turn you into a big, tough, angry man with emotional problems. And he's like, thanks, Dad. Is there... Because I wanted to call my son Clint.
Clint.
Yeah. Which is the opposite of Sue. It's the hardest boy name ever.
Jeez,
But
this
then-
makes sense why you love Westerns. Bloody Clint Eastwood over here.
But then he has to live up to the name Clint.
Yeah. And I don't know, the name Clint, like, take out the end there and you're in trouble.
Not even that, Justine. If it's spelt in capital letters and you squint,
Exactly. I think you're running into a lot of problems there potentially.
that's true.
I remember doing driving lessons with a fella before, and instead of saying, and during the lesson he goes, just put your hand on the clutch there. And I was like, how am I meant to not crash the car right now? In all sincerity.
Do you know what? I think it'd be better for us both if
I
we just
just
crashed the car and we just
Let
remained
the
in
whoopee
the car
cushion come out, get us in the face, end it all.
and we just slowly wait for the car to go on fire. Like, it'll take 5 minutes. I'm not moving. How did you get on meeting people you haven't seen in a while?
Grand, actually. Now, the weird thing, I suppose, now is that some people probably know me from, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I love what you do. And I'm like, that's mad. because I get, when I go home, I'm like, I don't like that. Not that I don't like that. I'm just, it's weird to me to be not known just as being Justine from home. That people actually know the work.
What's
and
your
stuff.
dad's name again?
Justin.
Yeah,
think
you're
it's
no
cool.
longer Justin Stafford's daughter.
Yeah.
You're Justine Stafford.
If anything, he's Justine Stafford's father.
There you go. It's flipped.
That's what's happened.
Yeah.
Because someone didn't realise they thought my father had been on RTE doing a comedy competition.
Oh my
And
God.
they came up to the
Apparently,
pub
Justin Stafford was bet by Sinead Quinlan. He was raging.
and he was like, they came up to him in the pub and they're like, Jesus, Justin, how do you want Ray Darcy? How'd you get on? I'm like, Mother of God. Like, when
Heard you doing a lot of blowjob materials, Justin.
Imagine them paedophiles as well. Mother of God. Like, but it was lovely to go back and see people, and as well, a lot of old fellas that know my dad, and I love that, and they're like coming to me like, how's Justin getting on? And I love it. I love it. I revert back.
I think we
to,
both are very. I think old people love us.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Old people fucking love the pair of us. Old ladies love me. Old lads love you. If we could monotonize that,
We need to be the new winning streak hosts.
oh my God, we would fucking nail it.
Oh my God.
You've got great experience from spinning that big tire at the Nobber Fair. You'd be like whispering tips here, fucking bend the knees and give it a fucking good swing.
You've great experience of jazzy jackets.
I've got so many jazzy jackets, Justine.
It's like, what more qualifications do we need?
I don't really know compared to everyone who's gone before us, in such a role.
Look at, I don't know, Sinead and Marty, elite, top tier. How could we compete? I'm not going to even try to.
I'm not saying we can't, but we will be cheaper.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we can undercut these people
This
if
is
there's
the
any
thing.
executives and RT listening.
Yeah.
We will not do any SponCon because companies are not interested in us at all.
No. Unless there's a local owl fella, owl one business that want to get in touch.
Yeah.
A knitting company, perhaps. Or maybe after last week, that dosage, cattle dosing
Oh yeah,
company might get in touch.
yeah. If there's any sort of cattle deworming powder or anything for flea treatment, we are wide open to those kind of deals.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Dublin influencers,
Exactly.
just like, hey guys, how's it going? Listen, just hashtag ad. If your cattle like have worms or whatever, you need to get dewormer because it's just it just clears them right out. And they have like a little calf in the corner. It's like, look at them there, it's great.
I remember a girl came down, she moved from Dublin down to our primary school. Now look, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She was only about 7, but she genuinely thought you milked a cow by pulling its tail up and down like a well, which is adorable. But like, she was instantly.
Has anyone ever tried that though?
You wouldn't be long about getting a kick off one.
You would,
or
yeah.
it shitting on you. So
You definitely get either a kick or some shit on your leg.
yeah,
I love that idea. Like she saw it in an old
it's very
cartoon or
cute.
something.
It's very cute now.
Like a Merry Melodies cartoon.
But she
It's like
was
cranking the cow.
She instantly though was kind of viewed in a different light.
Yes.
The
The simple child.
And she's more so, you don't understand the ways of this rural area.
Yeah. That's our whole.
You got a lot to learn.
Got a lot to learn about the culture way of
Little
life.
Missy. Didn't last long in the school. Left about after a year. So hope she's well.
She's out there somewhere. She's probably got a kick of a wild bullock.
Milking a cat. I had a bad experience just when you mentioned neighbours coming into the house. Actually, the morning of the wedding. I had gone home. Now, the annoyance of all this is that my mother and father decided to go away to Spain this week. And it was a nuisance because I had no one to drop me over to the wedding. And then my mother was saying, maybe you could have Guinness Zero. And I'm thinking, Ma'am, are you mental? So I had to get a lift off someone that was grand. But because they were away, it meant there was no one there to feed the dog all week and someone to check on the cattle. So Dad had enlisted our neighbour to do that. And he'd come in at sporadic times. And I hadn't been there all week because I'm up in Dublin. So I came home on the Friday morning and I was getting ready. And I like to, when I'm getting ready for an event, I like to put in headphones and get a playlist going
Okay.
that will be similar to the songs I'll be hearing. and
Right.
get
Sort
in the
of gearing
mood.
up the body for the music that's about to appear.
Yes,
Yeah.
and getting just more energetic about it and all that.
Have a bit of mass on the corner.
Bit of mass, unplugged, acoustic set, lovely. So I had that going on, and I was doing my makeup. And then because I was wearing a dress, I was like, I better not put on the dress because it'll destroy it in the makeup. You know, common sense.
Sure.
Common sense.
So what were you wearing?
I was just in a bra and my underwear. Right, that's full disclosure there now for you. And I was like, am I after leaving my my eye makeup, eyeshadow palette on the kitchen counter? I said, I better go down and get it. And I walk into the kitchen and there's our 50-year-old neighbour sitting having a cup of tea.
With his trousers down.
And I'm like, oh Jesus! And I just backed out the door.
Oh, because you wanted to give as much of the full frontal view as possible. So you reversed out the door. Did you make a beeping noise? Just sort of lighten the mood. Sorry, PJ.
I didn't go back into that room. And I dread when I'm going to have to see him again next. Like, I'm terrified.
How did he react?
Well, he didn't react, per se. You know, it didn't faze him.
It didn't faze him.
There was no reaction.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I don't know.
He seem very embarrassed?
No.
He was just like, you're grand. You're grand, Justine.
When I make you a cup of tea.
There's nothing else you need. Anything else you need, you just give me a shout, Justine.
But like obviously, and because it's the headphones are the issue, because he had put on the radio kind of to alert that someone was here. I didn't hear that because I had my headphones in.
I mean, underpants and headphones never go well.
No, but see, because I live alone in Dublin, I'm just used to that. And actually, that hasn't worked in my favour either, because there was one day there was a lad washing the window.
Oh my God.
I need to stop putting in headphones. And I came in
Did you
after
open
a
up a
shower.
can of Diet Coke and just stare at him?
Oh Lord God. Yeah, I walked in after having a shower and there was a man there cleaning the windows.
Wow. Who hired him?
It was actually my neighbour. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There is a lot of just walking into people's houses down the country.
There is, yeah. An absolute abandonment of locking
Laws.
doors and laws.
Personal privacy.
I dread going home if I'm at home on my own, because any neighbour could come. We had a neighbour just come there and leave a bag of fruit on the wall, and I'm like, why is this happening?
Yeah, we had a lad used to drive by our house and throw cabbages. No, he'd sell them. He'd collect money later. It wasn't like a protest or anything. But he'd just throw a cabbage at your door. And like it would just seem like somebody kicked your door really hard. And they're like, oh, that's just Johnny.
Banshees. It's like the
Yeah.
finger on the door.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Anyway, how is your sex life?
No, I deleted the app yesterday. I'm just done.
Did
I can't
ya?
do it. Yeah. And like, I'm trying to figure out what I will do instead. Now, one theory and thought I have is, you know, when you're walking on the street and you end up just matching someone's pace right beside them, and you're kind of like, it's as if you're walking together now. I'm just going to keep matching men's paces and see if they just take my hand at some point.
Okay. Not the process I thought you were going to come up with. I mean, you're basically just walking at the same pace as men. Where do you think
They might
it's going to go?
I think they'd be like, God, this is actually nice walking beside you.
It's like, I haven't had this connection since I was in the army.
Totally. And then like,
You're just going to get a load of FCA lads going like, Clay, yes, Clay, yes, Clay, yes, Clay.
or someone who's in a marching band
Yeah,
who's big into it. That's great.
yeah. Because I am curious about the sort of dating scene outside of apps.
This is the thing. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen, because I'll be honest with you as well. I think dating apps have ruined dating. Full stop. I
Yeah.
think people
They've destroyed it.
It's destroyed. People are ruined by the illusion of choice, and no one wants to commit to anything because they think in the back of their head, maybe a better person for me was 4 swipes away. And they're, you know, you can even sense it on dates sometimes that someone is not fully there, because in the back of their head they're comparing you to the last date they had on, and blah blah blah. And my friend always had this, my friend who got married, so she's doing great now, but we always had this theory growing up called the chewing gum theory of like, with dating sometimes it can feel like, oh, it's like putting in a new chewing gum at the start. You're like, oh, this is
It's full of flavour.
Bam, new, juicy. Like
My jaw's
this.
getting some action.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting taste, new taste to me.
Yeah.
I'm
blowing
okay with
bubbles.
it. Yeah. And then the more you chew, it gets boring and
The
a
flavour
bit bland.
goes.
Flavour goes. And
Yeah.
then eventually you spit it out.
Yeah,
You move on to the
you're
next
just
one.
chewing on a weird bit of rubberized food,
Yeah.
and then spit it out,
Spit it out, move on
leave
to
it
the
on the
next one.
ground, let
Move
a
on to the
dog
next
lick it up and get sick.
That, or if you're like someone who's maybe poly, you'll keep it in your mouth and you'll put another one in on top of it.
Ooh,
There's a new
but I mean
modern-
that only works for a while though, because then eventually the flavor runs out of that.
Again,
yeah.
this is it.
It's not a bad theory.
It's a nice one. We were like
Or metaphor, I guess.
15 when we came up with it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty good.
often, Jesus, we were ahead of our time. But
So what you're looking for basically is some sort of Willy Wonka never-ending chewing gum.
yes,
Yeah,
and I think that's love, really,
Or-
isn't it?
yeah. You want one that's like, okay, a lot of the flavor is gone, but there's still flavor left in
There's
it.
still something there.
There's
And
something I love about
sometimes
this
when I
chewing
chew a bit, it comes out more. It just,
Yeah.
I thought it was gone, and now look, there's more flavour there.
So what? Apart from your ludicrous idea of matching a pace with a man, which frankly, Justine, is your worst idea I've ever heard. What would be some other methods of finding
Like,
love in, as Han Solo says, Alderaan places?
Uh,
Alderaan was where Princess Leia was from.
Oh, good God. Okay. So, yeah. Look, I actually prefer the idea of meeting someone organically because it's like class. This was pure fate, like, or chance, and I love that as opposed to swiping. Anyway, I've met people before in Whelan's. I went out
Smoking
for a
area,
bit.
probably.
Class,
Yeah.
yeah.
What did we do before smoking areas? We just had to dance with people.
Dance, yeah. Now, again, if I think back to who I did, like, it would have been people that I went to school or college or shit like that. Like,
Yeah, there was a
just people
basis
that
already
was-
there.
Yeah, and like, no, a comedy, you're always meeting new people. But sometimes it can get weird, and I found that with dating on the apps, people that know you and pretend they didn't know you, and it's
Yeah.
weird as fuck.
So smoking areas are good. You get a great sense of somebody's sense of humor from a smoking area.
You do.
You also get a sense of their bad habits and good habits. How much are they drinking? Do they smoke? Do you like smokers? Do you not like smokers? Maybe you like somebody who smokes occasionally. You like somebody who
Exactly.
smokes with pints.
Yeah.
But you don't want an actual
Smoker,
smoker.
100%. So you can find that. Also, you can find out are they sound because you can suss if someone walks by and wants a cigarette. Will they offer them
Will they
one?
offer them a
will they offer
cigarette?
them their lighter? Class. This person is
Yeah.
kind.
How often are they going to the bar? Do they offer you a drink? There's a lot you can gain.
You can.
And also jokes.
Are you
Smoking area is
chatty?
great
yeah.
for jokes.
And if you bring over mates, would they chat to them just as easily? Like, as in, are they a social person?
Are they awkward? How are they with new people? You can find out a lot in a smoking
I
area.
really think so. I think that's a great way of finding people now. But it's just then figuring out, are they single or not?
So, okay. Well, there is ways.
You can ask them.
You can. I mean, asking them straight out is
Seems-
such a
yeah,
is such a green flag. It's a big move.
I know, but
it's
then if they
I'm interested in you.
Yeah.
I need to know your situation.
But if they say no, then what? I just turn and walk away. Like, that seems a bit harsh.
No, if they say no, you say that's a pity. You chat for a bit longer and wind it down.
Yeah.
You don't like pour your drink over their head or anything like that, Justine.
No.
So let's say you meet somebody in the smoking area. It's going well.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first date?
Oh, that's a good question now. Do you know something that I'd love to do? I'd love to do something that neither of us done before as a first date. Like an activity based
Clean your
thing.
kitchen.
Yeah, like an activity. I heard this thing, alphabet dating, but I think it's more so that's for like if you're in a relationship. Like the first date is an A,
Okay.
B, C, D.
And farm.
Yeah, well, my head always went to anal, but that doesn't seem like a first date scenario, is the problem. I just don't
Airport
know.
bar.
Airport bar. Oh my God, airport, because you could just go and look at the stars at the airport at night, and then you go to the airport bar and you book a flight randomly somewhere. I'm a devil for spontaneity.
Yeah.
Might be an issue I have.
Okay. You want immediate satisfaction.
I want them to be able to be like, yeah, let's do
of
something
course.
mad. Within
Bobby
reason.
Fingers from Rubber Bandits told me years ago,
Oh,
best first
yeah,
date,
Yeah.
wax museum.
Yeah, that's my second
Go
date.
to the wax museum.
Second date, not first.
Great
Because
crack. Having a laugh at the wax museum.
It is, but then I've brought lads there's dates, and before there was one guy who just got sad about it, like, this is such a waste of a space, like, and it's not even that good. I'm like, Eamon Dunphy is in the Star Wars exhibit. What is not to love?
Do you know what? That guy sounds like shit crack.
He
when you think of
was.
every massive office building in Dublin that is lying dormant,
Yeah.
let us have a fucking museum filled with silly dolls.
Entirely. And I was like, it's amazing.
Eamon Duffy in the Star Wars exhibit
It's
is
just
amazing.
like,
Yeah.
that's perfect. And that was an instant indicator to me of like, this isn't going to work.
This ain't gonna work, buddy boy.
We ain't got the same sense
If
of
you
humor.
don't find this funny or fun,
what the hell is the point?
even in an ironic sense,
yeah.
you're gone, baby.
They had like a placard for Elvis and it was like Whitney Houston. I'm like, I don't think that is Elvis. I love this. There was one section that there just wasn't a wax there anymore and they just had a mop. I'm like, class.
Love it. I love there's sections of the Wax Museum where it's clear that there's no real theme here at all. And
Christmas, and then there's like dinosaur footprints leading over to a tractor, and you're like,
there's one I saw, and it's through a little window, and it looks like a sort of a mechanical hell. And there's just a load of like, there's just machinery on cogs, and just like tortured probably old Irish celebrities that we don't know anymore. Just moving these
cancelled
cogs.
celebrities.
Yeah. It's like,
that would be a great section to have.
that's a great idea.
Cancel
Celebrities, but you have them like been punished.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Justine. Where's the good first dates? What's your opinion on the zoo?
The zoo makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It just makes me sad to see like all the animals locked up, and they look sad. Is the problem?
Yeah,
If they look
should,
happy.
They should give the monkeys like little tricycles or cigars. I think it would just make everyone a bit happier.
Or at least play the Lion King music in the background of the
Yeah.
lion exhibit.
Yeah.
Something like that. But they just look very sad, and it just makes me quite sad.
Fair enough. Animals in captivity, bummer.
Not ideal. No. Other first dates, like
Do you go for coffee or do you go for pints?
I'm quite a pint person.
Straight in with the pints. What time of day? Nighttime or evening time? Post work or
Post work, yeah.
post work is less
Unless
fresh.
it's longer. Unless you're talking the weekend, but then also, generally weekend, I'm still going nighttime. There
What
was
about dinner dates?
No, not for a first date. I just feel it's too formal, and I'd find that weird.
There's weird gaps in dinner dates where like you're waiting for the waiter to come over, then you order, then you're waiting for the food, you're waiting between meals.
There's a lot of
pauses and gaps.
Even from the get go of like the pauses of like while we subtly read the menu. I find that very.
That's the worst. We just go, "Oh, what's good here?"
No, that's my worst nightmare. Like I would dread that.
I think they should have pictures. I know this is very a childlike opinion, but they should have pictures with the menu.
Okay, when was the last time you were on holidays on a resort? Because they do that everywhere.
I know
and
they
it's
do it
not-
like where it's for children. Yeah. But I want to see what the food looks like. Can't go by the description.
Yeah, no, I get you. It just sometimes I think that I tend to associate that with places that are like,
For children.
yeah.
I prefaced it with saying I know this is a childlike opinion.
But that said, like I've been to some cocktail bars that now show you a picture of the size of glass that cocktail comes in. Now that is
That's
revolutionary.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Because I always make the mistake of buying the little bloody triangular martini glass one. And I'm like,
well,
that's...
you're a Long Island iced tea lady.
This is...
I want the most amount of alcohol in a fucking pint glass.
100%.
Top it up with a glass of Coke.
Yeah, honestly,
I
give
want
me the
6
jar.
shots.
Yeah.
6 shots of alcohol.
Send me a picture over here.
Lovely stuff.
Okay, I kind of noticed this is the first time we've recorded on a Monday.
Yes.
And neither of us are in the best of health. And I've been like trying to find ways to make myself feel a bit better about that fact. So I've been kind of looking up depressing facts to make me feel better. And I found some. And
What's your logic here?
we'll feel better about our situations when we realise, it could have been worse.
Right.
It could have been worse because we could be the planet Pluto. Not only just because it got downgraded, but here's the fact about Pluto. Pluto didn't even get to make one whole orbit of the sun between its discovery and its demotion.
So it hasn't even been a day.
Yeah.
Is that right? No, it takes a year to go around.
Yeah.
So it's not even in its first year.
Sure, no. Isn't that sad? And he got demoted before he even got to do a full rotation.
See, what I'm struggling with here, Justine, is you're saying I'm depressed. So do you know what I'll do? I'll look up a load of depressing things.
Yeah, I do it because it'll make me feel less
I'm going to go home
depressed.
and watch Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch a really depressing news report in Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll feel great after it. I'm the opposite. I need happy news
Oh, do you?
if I'm sad.
I'm
yeah.
kind of like 2 negatives make a plus.
What other depressing facts have you got?
When a panda has twins, they normally can only look after one and abandon the other.
I mean, at what point do we just say, pandas, will ye ever fuck off? We're busting our balls trying to keep these lads around. And
The
they
reputation.
won't ride. Like, we're doing everything in our power to get these lads together. But they're just big, stupid teddy bears. You ever see one falling out of a tree? It's like, I feel like evolution made a mistake with pandas.
And they're actually trying to not reproduce to be sound, and we're like trying to force it on them.
We're trying to force them. We're like there's probably zookeepers just, fluffing them, trying to get them geared up, and they're stupid teddy bears. And now you're telling me, like, when they've 2 kids, they're just like, oh, I can't handle it. Come on, lads, get your act together.
Yeah, completely. I've never really taken to pandas. I've never had a fondness for them. There's always people, like a friend, like, oh, can't wait to see the pandas in the zoo. I'm like, why though?
They're stupid.
What are they going to be doing when you walk over there? Not a tap.
Eating a big stick of grass. Chewing. Falling around the place. They're so clumsy.
I think they're hammered all the time.
They do seem like drunk little fat men. Yeah.
Now this is, I think, just a gorgeous fact. I love it so much. Squirrels, known for what? Hiding their nuts.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, and
okay.
No, what's that called when they do that? It's for hibernation, isn't it?
Hibernation, yeah.
Well, fun fact. They forget where they put 74% of the nuts.
Oh my God.
Isn't that amazing?
I feel like that's like me with Bitcoin. I bought a load of it, can't remember my password. It's on an old phone. I could be a millionaire.
Gone, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice little surprise. It'd be like finding like a tenner in your back pocket though, someday.
So the squirrel equivalent is they're digging around, they probably find some other lads' nuts.
Possibly. Like, that's a lot of nuts to lose.
That's a lot of nuts.
Where you put
do
them.
they account for this loss?
But like, how many nuts do they need? They're probably overcompensating here.
Clearly, Justine. Clearly, they're doing 3 times the amount of work that they need to be doing.
Yeah.
So if they could be cutting their productivity in a quarter.
In a quarter.
If they just
copped on and put them all together.
Put them all together and know where you're putting your nuts.
Here's the thing
lads,
that I find.
Lads, know where you're putting your nuts.
What I find ironic, know where you're putting your nuts. I think that's life lesson for us all. Okay? But the thing that baffles me about that is growing up in school, I don't know if you had it now, but we would have had this savings scheme.
Cyril the squirrel.
Cyril the bloody squirrel. Why are we investing in this lad?
Why are we, the symbol that we've chosen for savings is highly unreliable. He can't even look after his own nuts. How's he going to look after my £15
and
from my
each of the
communion
little
money?
stamps was a little bloody acorn.
Yeah. So 25% of that is saved and the other's gone.
Now it does make sense because our teacher pocketed. We only, we'd give them the €20, we'd get a £5 back. I'm joking, but like that would make sense then in that.
Yeah. He blamed the squirrels.
Yeah, and the squirrels, and it'd be right to do so because it's factual.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's
mad.
a lovely fact. Does that not make you feel a little like, it's not a good one?
Well, do you know what? Actually, it probably works very well for the circle of life. Mm-hmm. Because the whole point of nuts is that animals will spread them around the place. Mm-hmm. So these boys are scattering nuts all over the place. They're probably planting more trees. So, Mother Nature, she's a clever lady.
Oh, she is. She's very cute altogether.
She's very cute now, so she's
a cute woman. A wicked woman.
Oh, she's a wicked woman.
Lovely stuff.
Well, that's a perfect time to end it, I think.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of The Lovely Show.
The Lovely Show.
Justine, thank you.
Kevin, thank you. And
thanks for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. And I hope you're feeling better next week.
I hope my disease goes away and I hope your hangover goes away.
Much appreciated.
I hope I have a hangover. I'd love a hangover.
Yeah, we'll swap next week.
Savage.
Lovely.
I'll leave some saliva on the table.
I'll leave some vodka.
Very good.
Great.
Talk to you again, folks.
Good luck.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.